Welcome back, my dear friends. Today is a very good day because we finally have more leaks to talk about. And these leaks are real and verified, and they pertain to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, as well as the new Nintendo Switch Successor. And between you and me, these two things may or may not have something to do with each other. So let's all gather around so I can explain what these leaks are for you guys. Now, as you can see, these leaks have been compiled by Central Leaks, so we have it all in one place to look at and makes it super easy for us. It says new leak. The person who accurately leaked the entire DLC announcement this week is back with more information. And here are the bullet points. The first bullet point is that some Pokemon will gain special terrestrial forms, so that's really cool. I can't wait to see what those look like. The next bullet is the new Switch model is actually a next-gen console. The successor, not a revision, which I totally figured would happen at this point because in all honesty, the Nintendo Switch is coming up on a pretty long lifespan here. And I had been saying for a long time that it was probably going to be around 2024, 2025 that a Nintendo Switch successor would be announced. And that pretty much lines up, especially after the entire computer chip shortages that was stopping production for a lot of consoles, even the PS5. So this is about time for a new Nintendo Switch console, but that doesn't mean that the old Nintendo Switch is going to become irrelevant, at least not for a while, but there is a new one coming, and that is nice to know. There will be a second DLC in 2024. Now, it's kind of unclear if the second DLC that they talk about here is just the second wave of the DLC packs, because, you know, there's two packs. There's the first pack, which is coming in the fall, and then there's a second pack, which is, I think, the winter, but that could get delayed to 2024, and they're probably preemptively, you know, accounting for that, maybe. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see on what exactly that means. Even Centro doesn't know. Now, for context, we can read the original post here from Scabal DLC link. And this person's background is explained right here. They said, I am a programmer at a Pokemon outsourcing company. My English is very poor, so I used machine translation to complete this post. We are working on a graphic enhancement patch for the new Nintendo Switch models that will be released alongside DLC 2. Now that is big news. They're working on a graphic enhancement patch, as this person who is clearly a part of the team for the outsourcing said. So that means Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is going to be either re-released on the Nintendo Switch Successor, or it's going to be compatible with it. Maybe Nintendo Switch games can play on the Successor. And if that's the case, they can have the ability to upgrade their visuals, which is a really nice touch. Like, that's something we've all wanted, right? We've all wanted enhanced visuals, especially from games like Scarlet and Violet, and especially from like Bayonetta 3 and a few other titles. So either way, as we've seen, this is definitely a reputable source, and they were right about everything before, and this new info here is straight from them as well. But the leaker also left another hash to prove their return in a future post. We may still get more info in the future, so that's very promising. Here, you can see Soul Silver Art found that there was a poster for the Teal Mask in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet the entire time, right in front of our faces, and we can see it here up close. They zoomed in on it right here, and here we can see they also captured footage of them walking up to it in this area. So there it is right here. Also, I really like those Pokeball lanterns. Those are freaking awesome. And here it is again. Look at that. Now, the next huge leak is possibly my favorite one here, and that is all the returning Pokemon that we're going to be seeing in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. So, Matt Yukana has compiled them for us, and they said, like with Sword and Shield version 1.2 and SV 1.2, Game Freak have deleted Pokedex entries for a lot of Pokemon instead of stubbing them. Included in the list are currently confirmed returning Pokemon for DLC, like Yanma. And then they compiled the list. You guys can take a look at it on Matt Yukana's Twitter page, obviously. But the biggest thing with this that makes me so happy is that all of the Pokemon who currently do not have a home on the Switch, I think there was around 20 of them, are included in this list, except, well, I'll get to the exception in a second. First, let's celebrate the fact that those Pokemon are finally going to have a Switch title that they can be put into. And some of them are some of my favorites, like Zebstrika and Minior. I freaking love those Pokemon. But yes, okay, the sad part is that the Unova starters are not getting included in this, at least not in this current list. Now, there is a press release that says that 230 Pokemon will be returning, and this list is not 230, so there's still a few. It's close to a 230, but there's still a few Pokemon that are missing from this list. So we might actually see the Unova starters still. They're just not on this list as confirmed, you know? And that would really suck because Oshawott is on that, in that line is on the Switch because of Pokemon Legends, but Snivy and Tepig are getting no love right now, and I love Snivy and Tepig lines. They're so good in my opinion. I think Tepig is really cute, and I think that Serperior is one of the coolest final evolutions. Now, the next leak is about the connected story for the DLCs, and this is interesting because unlike the Sword and Shield DLCs, apparently these two stories from the two waves on Scarlet and Violet will be a connected story. One will be a sequel to the other, so I'm curious to see exactly how they kind of mesh the two together and what's going to connect from one to the other. Is there going to be an overlap of characters? Is there going to be some legendaries that make appearances in the first one that you don't see or are able to catch until the second wave? How is that going to play out? I'm very curious and excited to see how that all works. And then finally, we have a little more detail shed on the DLC again, and it says, unlike Naranja Nuva Academy, with its long and rich history, this school was only recently established and has a focus on teaching Pokemon battles. What's unique about Blueberry Academy is that a large part of it actually exists in the sea. That's going to be a visual spectacle. I'm excited to see that. How about you guys? I'm also kind of biased. I love water and water Pokemon, so this is up my alley. Well, that all seems very promising. I think my favorite thing here is definitely the returning Pokemon that do not have a place on the Switch, but also the information about the new Nintendo Switch console and its connection to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is kind of wild. And you know, something that's really important to me is what you guys think about all this. So if you can be so kind as to let me know your thoughts on all of this information down in the comments section, I would love to talk about this with you. In the meantime, feel free to stick around the channel. I have a Patreon page if you want to support me there, links in the description, and I also have more videos for you to watch, which you can now see on screen right now. So once you're done commenting, feel free to click on any of those. I've been JotoJohnny. I'll catch you guys in the next video.